Yo, you already know what it is. Your boy
Ooh.
Ace of Cross Culture coming with episode number 44
Whoa,
of ATAS.
whoa.
The
44.
algorithm is gonna get you. The algorithm is
44.
gonna get
Man, that's huge. That's huge. I can't even calculate. But wait, before I do
you.
that, it's your boy Tipsy Japan back with another episode of ATAS across time and space. Let's do it. Let's do it, Ace, man. We back over here in cross culture. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
It feels good. It feels real good. I'm up here calculating like I'm part of the
44.
algorithm. I see what you're doing there. I see what you did.
The
You really did.
algorithm is gonna get you. That's
Is that
today's
algorithm or algorithm?
algorithm. The boy here with the algorithm.
Yes, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Algorithm.
I hope you got folks listening to know what that means. You know,
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think so.
they better,
Might be the only
man.
two.
Yo, bring them
Might
in.
be the
Bring them in.
only two.
Add them to the ranks, the army. It's Atas Army, man. Yeah, the Atas Army.
Atas
What you think of
Army.
that? Yeah,
Wow. Atas Army. Okay.
yeah. When we get up to 50, you're gonna see this email ring. All these folks lined up. Yo, I'm telling you right now, I can see it. I can see the vision. All right. Messages going out. Cats are telling friends across time and space. They're like, yo, you got to get there. You got to be there. You got to be there early now. Because we over here in Japan, of course, ahead of y'all. But now we even further ahead of y'all. It's the last time on your summertime, as you call it here, or daylight savings time, as you call it there. I
No,
think
man, we just started. Like you
it's
keep
the
trying to
last.
end it.
I'm saying
We
it's the
just
last
started.
round of that. You got to need to
Oh
stop.
yeah. The last round. Yeah,
It's the
we're
last
not
time
doing that anymore.
from next year, right?
I that's what I'm hearing. That's what you told me. But I'm not really too sure what's going on with it because we voted it like 2, 3 years ago,
Yeah.
like 2019. I think we voted on it to have it
Right.
brought up to Congress and all that good stuff, and then went to Senate and all la la la. But
That's how long it takes.
I
That's
never
how
heard anything. Like nobody said like yes, we're definitely going to be ending it.
I think Biden said it like a couple of weeks ago.
I had to do a Google search and
Mhm.
found out that way. After you mentioned it, I was like, well, what's
Right.
going on?
All right. So it's gonna be easier to reach across time and space come next year. I think, I hope, I pray for y'all. All right.
Yeah, I mean, we won't be changing all in time for no reason. Why we need
All
daylight
right.
saving time and nobody's working in factories anymore? We have electricity. Like,
Nobody's working in the fields. I mean, we have robots to do that, right?
well, nah. I used to
No.
work in the fields. We don't got robots to do that.
We got robots everywhere. We got robots everywhere. Depends on the
Field.
scale of the field. Mm. Wait, I'm thinking now. When have I worked outside? I've worked in a factory. I've worked in a warehouse. I haven't worked outside though. Wow. Not on my own, not on somebody else's land. I worked on my own land. Plantation, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
Plantation. Oh, in Dominica. Gotta be
Yep.
because.
Yeah, we out there, man.
Yeah.
A big old plantation. But it's got our names on it now, so that's what it is. Is what it is. I ain't gonna put everybody on blast out there, but big ups to my Dominican brothers and sisters. There was one. His name is real hard to say. I want to butcher it, but I think it's Hothan. All right, and he came in third place in the Caribbean, like Tour de Caribbean. He's one of the campeonatos. I think he was like second, not third place, second place, as a matter of fact. So he's doing big things, and we'll have his name in the comments section if y'all ask for it. All right, I got it.
Throw it in there. I don't know how to spell it.
Nah, all right, I'm gonna drop that in there. But what's going on with you? It's been a beautiful week. It's a beautiful day. My goodness.
For you, it's a beautiful night. For me here,
I'm telling you, the weather is so nice here right now. It's like, okay, Google, what's the temperature?
Currently in Chiba, it's 17 degrees.
That sounds cold. Okay, Google, what's 17 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit?
17 degrees Celsius is 62.6 degrees
Yeah.
Fahrenheit.
62. All right. Now I know it's nice out there in sunny California, but what y'all got?
I'm checking my watch right now. I mean, you know what?
Okay.
Okay, Google. What was today's high?
Tonight in El Centro, expect a high of 55 degrees.
Oh, that's
Tonight?
Light.
That's the high.
Yeah.
That's tonight's high. Except for today, right? Ask Sonic.
Excellent.
Sonic.
Okay, Sonic.
Right? He's too fast
I mean,
for the just he's never in the shade because he's moving too fast.
I can definitely check my watch because that'll. Okay, so today's high was 74.
Okay, that's
74 is
comparable.
nice. It was
I guess
nice.
it's comparable. It was nice. It
I'm
wasn't
gonna feel
raining.
that we're going outside to get out of the cold. But WPL checking in on the weather front. It's nice and comfortable.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good weather right there. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder what the weather's like in that part of the ocean. Where's Water Pulse Laser?
Ocean. Water Pulse Laser. Very well, very well.
Yeah. All right. Well, here we are. Lesson 44. Your teachers.
44, huh?
Yeah, that's how I feel all the time. Somebody asked me the other day, my teacher. I was like, well, I guess I'm a specialist.
Specialist. Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Specialized.
Yeah, a language specialist, instruction specialist. Make sure I help people teach those who teach how to teach better. Bring it out of them. Teach those who speak how to speak better. Bring it out of them. I'm doing the same thing, man. I don't know. But yeah, I'll go with the rhythm that you got planned today. All right.
I'll go with the rhythm. Okay, so you already know what book we're talking about. It is Homo Deus by Yuval Noah Harari. And we are in chapter 3.
3,000.
2.
200. 3,200. Yeah. We in there.
It's always a little bit of a question because we're breaking down the chapters 30 minutes at a time. Because this chapter, if you're listening on Scrib, it is a little long. I think the full thing listening at 1.0 speed is 1 hour and 30 minutes. So we will have how many more? 3 more? No, not 3 more. No, it's got to be longer than 1 hour and 30 minutes though, because it was only about halfway when I was looking at the timeline.
It is. I listened to 55 minutes at 1.5 speed on a repeat version. So I feel like I'm there. It's the second or third time, might be fourth time I listened to it. So I want to talk about it. I want to get into the issues.
Get into it.
Pick my mind.
All right.
Pick my hair. I'm up there, man.
Pick my hair. There ain't no hair to pick now.
Pick my hair. I put a pick in my in the
beard.
In the beard. It'll stay.
Okay. All right. More power to you. But we ain't got no room for no soul up in it.
Oh yeah.
Mind, body, and no soul. So because I know that we talked about it a little bit.
We touched on it,
yeah, we touched on just a little bit about the I can't even remember if this was during the show or in the afterglow. The thought of animals being in heaven, pets being in heaven, things like that.
All dogs go to heaven. Yeah.
All dogs go to heaven. Yeah, we discussed that. So the question that was framed is, where does the soul reside? Because we know where the mind resides. And he kind of uses it interchangeably, the mind and the soul. But like we know where the head is, we know where the brain is. We know that if we take off the arm, then your consciousness isn't linked to your arm. So where is the soul?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the question.
That's a question for me.
Where
Where's
do you believe
Waldo?
the soul
Actually,
resides?
I have this map back here. I think the soul is somewhere. Over by
Soul
Chiba. I got
Korea.
Chiba on. There's a map, right here, and there's a soul, down by this white dot here in Makahari, Japan. Yeah. Where does the soul reside? Where's the mind? The mind is a lot easier to calculate, right? The body is easy to touch. The mind, okay, is like the result of all the calculations, right? The algorithm and this, that, and the other. But the soul, this eternal thing, science has yet to discover anything eternal.
True.
Like they have limits on the universe. They have a start point. They have some end that they can calculate the whole thing. If you're listening and watching on YouTube, you can look it up right now. Like, what does the end of the universe look like? Here it is. Right? And they just press fast forward and you can watch the whole thing turn to darkness by the end. It's cold, dark end of everything. It's one idea of how.
Not grim at all.
That's what I'm saying. There's one idea of how it could all end, or it could all go back to some cosmic beginning. Maybe it's a cosmic cycle. But the soul itself, well, the expectation is that after we die, our soul goes to where it feels most at home. If you didn't, from the Judeo-Christian perspective, if you didn't particularly take to the source of all life, then your soul doesn't want to go there.
Go ahead and say what you want to say. I feel like you're holding back.
Huh?
We don't cross culture. We don't cross culture.
I'm just saying, yeah, we over here on the cross culture side, so I don't feel the need to hold it back. But yeah, if you didn't live your life in such a way that you want, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but if you want to go to where that source of the light is, then you don't. All right, your soul, where that eternal thing, that eternal part of you, would go where that light isn't, as far away from it as possible, right? Okay, that's understandable. People make their choices. Like, what's the purpose of life? Is it just to live on the rock that we've been born on and die on the rock that we've been born on? Or if there's some eternal part of you, then and this is just a test to see if you're the light type or the dark type, then you get your time to figure it out and then go on your way.
It sounds like some Pokemon type stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Like, these are shadows of the things to come. We don't quite understand it. All right. But science doesn't understand it either, because it doesn't see anything eternal about anything. We haven't been able to catch anything eternal as far as our observations using the sciences as they are, but there's some other types of science out there, other types of measurements that we haven't discovered yet. So, or we haven't rediscovered, or haven't delved in deep enough to quite understand yet. How you feel? How do you feel?
Well, the whole thing of consciousness and the soul is a very Christian or religious experience at the very least. So just wanted to jump into Genesis chapter 2, verse 7.
Well, there you go.
I'm going to read the NIV version, just because it's the first one here. I could read the New Living.
All right. Let's go. What's going on with the NIV? You said Genesis chapter who? Verse what?
Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. I'm upset that you said it like that.
You know exactly what I meant, and our listeners did.
Exactly what you meant.
Yeah.
Definitely was right there with you. All right. So, and it reads, then the Lord... Okay, sorry, I got stuff coming up on my computer. Then the Lord God formed a man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And the man became a living being. So usually
Mm-hmm.
we read that and we say, okay, well, he became alive, you know. But we have to think about everything that being alive encompasses. You know, are you
Mm.
living or are you just existing?
Mm.
Chairs exist, you know. They're there. They're tangible. You can touch them. You can sit on them. What have you?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're living, you have the breath of life. You know, you breathe. You eat and expel. You know, these are
Grow.
there are
Grow.
certain different things. Yes, to grow, to need space. There are certain criteria of living beings.
That's right.
And when God made man, He breathed into him, and when He breathed into him, it completed that Trinity: the mind, body, and soul.
Mm. It wasn't just a body.
It wasn't just a body, you know,
Maybe it
and it
wasn't even just a mind. A mind
not just
made.
a body because remember, if you think about Nebuchadnezzar,
Mm-hmm.
who roamed
King
the
of Babylon, guys. King of Babylon. Mm.
oh sorry, yeah, he was the king of Babylon, and he roamed on his on all fours with his nails all grown out for 7 years.
Oh man, he was living like
And
Sundiata.
Cindiata, looking
Yeah,
like a
the
wolf.
Mali King. Oh, the Mali
The
King was a lion, but yeah. All right.
this is there's a whole thing I could get into.
Go ahead.
Check this, but no, I don't want to burn up
No,
all the time.
about Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah. About Nebuchadnezzar, I could get into that, but I'm just
His
he
mind.
roamed, he ate grass, 7 years, so he had like 2.5, not the
Mm.
full three.
Mm.
So I mean, his consciousness was there enough
Mm.
that he knew what was happening,
Yeah.
but he couldn't speak. He didn't have higher thought processes, anything
Mm.
like that.
Mm.
But he could like see and experience what was going on.
Okay.
So now, man, having been made, Adam, he was right there. God made him, formed his body, formed, all the capillaries and everything. This is going to flow this way and this is that.
Right.
God designed Adam and then breathed into him.
Right.
And then he gained his consciousness.
Okay.
So, hold on, because my...
You talking well.
No,
I understand.
My earbud is about to die. I'm not trying to have that happen.
Okay.
So what we have to think about is that trifecta, the mind, the body, and the spirit, not just, okay, I have a mind, I can think, I have a body, and then the consciousness is just nowhere to be found. Animals have a mind and a body because they have to have a central nervous system, in order to live. But they don't have higher thought processes. Go ahead.
Now you just grazed over something that I think is going to become important to the conversation later. You said spirit and you said soul. And I just wanted to know if you were making a distinction between the two or if they're one and the same when you say it.
I believe spirit is the more religious accepted versus soul is kind of like, oh, you can equate that with music, you can equate that with so many other things, but when you say spirit, it's very distinct. So I don't believe that there's any distinction between the two so much. It's just kind of where you are.
Oh.
So if I say, yeah, he has soul,
yeah,
I'm not talking about a spirit in that context. But if I say he has a soul, then you already know that that's talking about that non-tangible thing that's out there.
See, my understanding of the soul now, and I feel like I already said it, but I just gotta elaborate just a little bit more. But I do kind of make a distinction between soul and spirit, because soul, when I see soul, I see that as the seat of the spirit, right? So, it's like where the spirit is. If you were looking the whole time for, like the eternal, then your soul and spirit, if your soul and spirit are like in aligned with the light side, then where your soul goes at the end is, to heaven type thing. If you're matched up with the like Holy Spirit, right? He comes down, he lives inside you, he lives inside your soul. So your soul is like painted the right way, it's colored the right way. Whereas if you're, drawn to the dark side, or if you're, drawn away by your like sins or whatever, any and every other thing, then your soul itself would turn dark, like he has a dark soul. The sun shines dark in his eyes, like when this guy's outside, just
dark in his eyes.
Yes, like the sun. Like you look at the sun, you're a normal person, you look in their eyes, and it's just like, the reflection is bright sun, but this guy's like purple, something's wrong. Right? So your soul goes to hell, right? Because it's, you've clung on to like the darker things, and you had a clean soul when you started, innocent soul, these innocent souls, right? But as you live life, you kind of make these choices, and then your soul needs to, kind of go somewhere after it's all done. So the eternal thing, God breathed into you his eternal thing, and he gave you like, good, nice, full spirit, to go with that soul. And, like you live in your life, Adam, everything was nice and great, but then you make the wrong choice. And, like the spirit leaves this guy, and now his soul is, he's got the chains of sin on him. So that soul is now making kind of the wrong choices on that, the grand scheme type of things. We can't really see, souls like that, but everyone has a soul for that reason, and your soul goes somewhere. Your body, I guess your body, by Christian perspective, your body doesn't go anywhere until, New Jerusalem. It goes in the ground, right? But your soul does go where it's supposed to go, and it meets its maker. And, you'll answer at that point. So the soul does mean a lot to me. The soul is the soul of that shoe, and whoever's putting their foot in there, if it's God putting his foot in, then you're gonna walk the right way. All right?
No. You can't just say that like that. You just put in soul with soul. Come on, man.
But soul with soul. My friend in soul told me how to do this, man. Like,
oh gosh,
Kim.
And now you bringing in another one?
Oh God,
no. Oh, see,
I was sold on the conversation. Look, all right, he knew what he was talking about.
Hell, 4 times.
Link him up.
Come on.
I'm the soul survivor, man. I ain't playing around.
So here's the thing that I'm kind of wrestling with what you said, is that I feel like at that point it's splitting hairs. You're talking about the seat of the seat of the spirit.
Yes.
Which is the soul, from what you were saying, and is different from the mind, which is different from the body.
Yeah.
Okay. So now it's no longer a trifecta. It's
we ourselves are just the three. We're 3 part, but the soul is the eternal part. The mind is the processes in our brain. The result of all those algorithms, but then the body is just the physical.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I always equated it as the spirit was God breathed into us. That's the only way that we're living. So to me, it's the seat of the spirit is your mind, the decisions that you consciously make every day. Now there's been a study done on prayer. No, we're at 25 minutes. Oh my word. There's been a study done on prayer in which they have the participants of the study to drink, what is it? Pure glucose, right? So pure glucose, and then that goes straight to your brain. So, if you're a sugar person like me, you got to be careful because pure glucose goes straight to your brain and it can't be all that great for it. But when they start to pray, they have them in like an MRI machine and they're seeing what portions of the brain are lighting up. And one of the things that they've seen is that in the mind of believers, the portions that are lighting up in the brain are as if you're talking to a person that's right in front of you. And to me, that solidifies that fact of believing is seeing rather than seeing is believing. So that's why I always saw the seat of the spirit, of God's spirit, as the mind. And if you listen to, you go to one place, and if you don't, you go to the other. It's those decisions that you make every day. That's just how I see it. That's the way that I grasp it all.
Well, yeah, I mean, your mind, that's good. That's solid right there. You make the decisions in your mind, right? But I see like,
you carry them out with your body.
And you carry it out with your body, and you feel the residual effects on your soul, or your soul will get the residual effect of it, of what you decided in your mind to do and what you actually did with your body. Your soul is the result. It's a little bit brighter or a little bit darker. Now, would you say that your mind, I guess you could say your mind could be a little bit brighter or darker, but your mind is where you make the decisions, I think.
Your mind is where you make the decisions. It's also where you make the decision of your driving force.
Yeah. I can get down with that. That's another banner on the bottom of the screen, by the way, for our Spotify listeners. What is your driving force? Wait, are you asking a question, or are we just going to segue into that?
Oh yeah, definitely asking a question. I mean, we're gonna go overtime today, but
okay, let them know. Get your pen, your pad, and your popcorn. All right, because we're gonna open this up. We're gonna open this way up. What's your driving force? What drives me?
Yes. Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna just leave it right there.
Man, without guiding me into that, like I can. Okay, what is my driving force? I gotta keep this.
You're chuckling for it.
No, because I'm thinking about it, man. I'm thinking about like what drives me, or when I feel like I'm not driving, or if I feel like I'm not like on my grind, or I don't have my spirit going. It's like I think that when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. So my core principles are the thing that keeps me driving. The thing that I tell myself every morning, the prayers that I say, the routine that I do, like that's my bread and butter. And when I have it, I'm on it. When I don't, and I'm just, let me do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Like I feel like I'm in a spiral going down rather than a virtuous spiral going up. So yeah, what drives me is the fuel that I actually use from the day before. That's available to me first thing in the morning. Like if I use it, then I'm driven up. If I don't use it, I'm just like, let me, enjoy some YouTube. Let me scroll around and Instagram and just get lost in this, I don't know, this like passive, reactive, low energy state. Like if I get into that, then I'm not driving. I'm just being driven around. And I hate it. I hate it so much. But it's real and it happens to people, you know. It's very easy to just be in this kind of this beta state, just like you know, just okay, what's next? And just watch people enjoy their lives, or watch people living it, like killing it, you know. You can watch people kill it, or you can go kill it yourself. And if I start the engine on, all right, you know, I'm gonna kill it. Like the sun is coming up right now. Let me get some of that, you know. Let me pray. Let me, you know, open up this word, get fed. Like when I'm in that state, man, I feel like I can just take over anything, everything. You know, what's your driving force? When do you feel like driven? Yeah.
Well, to me, it's not when do I feel driven. It's what is the
from the inside. From the inside.
Well, no, it's because it's not always action. You know, it's just the compass that shows me the direction. You know, it's the words of affirmation that I get from the Bible. It's the fact that I feel like Jeremiah sometimes when I have this fire shut up in my bones and I have to say something about what God has done for me, what he's doing for me, what he will do for me. And that's kind of just what it is. Because if I go by the things that I want, and I've said this to a few people growing up. It's like if I was living for myself, I'd be living completely differently. But it's come down to like those decisions that you make every day, because Lord knows that Satan attacks, and he knows exactly how to attack. But when you see yourself going off from your moral compass, that creates a moral dilemma. And then you have to wrestle with that in your mind, and you have to pick a side.
You got to pick.
So it's imperative that you, as a person, any person knows like what they stand for, what is important to them, what they will do to keep those things that are important to them, and how they will wrestle when things are not the status quo. Because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You know, I thought that certain things were important to me growing up. You know, oh yes, you know, junk food and girls and video games. That was it. You know,
1, 2, 3.
That was it.
When I get to this point, you know, I might get those 3. Nope, that's not it.
The relationship with God stepped up, and it's like, man, I don't really need those. I really don't need those. I don't need to be chasing that. No. And then family became a bigger part. You know, I want to be a support to the people that are close to me, whether it be the people that share my blood or the people that are my friends. That like these are family. I've known them for so long that these are family. You have to wrestle. You have to, because if you don't struggle with these things, you won't be able to stand for anything, and then you will fall for everything. That's exactly what will be your greatest downfall. And I've seen it happen to so many people, and I've talked to people that it's happened to. Some have gotten out of it, some have not. But you do have to wrestle with it. You have to say, I'm willing to sacrifice, you know, or myself is not so important. The things that I want to do are not the things that I need to be doing. So, yeah. So it's all of that. And it just all comes right back down to the Bible, because that's the thing that God hits me over the head with. You're not listening like yet.
crack.
Whoa.
Yo, my
Don't
Bible
make me
is
spicy.
heavy too. Look, I don't know what you was reading from, but this joint right here, right?
No, I was reading straight from the computer. No.
That right there, you cracked upside the head, boy. This is heavier than it's like a bowling ball. This is pretty substantial.
Yeah. 10-pound Bible.
Yeah. The human head is like 10 pounds too, right?
Oh, I don't know. Don't ask me. I know it's the size of my brain, apparently.
Right. He's holding up 2 fists. That's
2
your
fists.
brain.
That's my brain. Oh, dang. You big brain in it? My bad.
Yo, that's the old-fashioned way, though. Apparently, Homo sapiens, well, our ancient Homo sapiens had bigger brains than we do. So, we just
we sit around watching TV.
Well, I mean, our brains are more efficient, maybe?
No.
That's why they've gotten smaller over the years?
I don't think so. I mean, think about it. How many phone numbers can you rattle off right now?
I don't know anybody's phone number besides my own, my grandma's.
But yet,
I know El's number.
2 generations back.
Yeah.
You ask your parents or your grandparents, and they would be able to, and they'd be able to go back in genealogies and all of this, and our minds have gotten.
They needed to.
Yes, exactly. Because we've gotten so used to technology, it's always at our fingertips. No, why do I need to waste space in my brain doing that? So we fill it with other things.
Something else. Now you got to fill it with something else. But what are you going to fill it with? Right? That's the choice. Yeah. Depending on how you decide to fill your mind, your soul is going to be this color or it's going to be that color. There's only one thing that can clean it. That's the answer to his question. Is there hope? Jesus.
Is there hope?
Yeah, we know where that is. We know where the hope is. In the chapter, I wanted to go really in depth with this one. Okay. Because I've heard of this experiment multiple times, and there was a movie, Catch Me If You Can. Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, he actually talks about this a little bit, but there's a little bit of a spin on it. But it talks about in this chapter, it was talking about the act of taking 100 rodents, tossing them in some water and letting them struggle for 15 minutes. And then, half of the rodents, you let them struggle it out. And then the other half, at the end of that 15 minutes, you take them and you feed them and you make sure that they're nice and taken care of. They get rested up and all that good stuff. And that act gives them hope. So now the next time they're in the water, they struggle for 16 minutes. Okay. 20 minutes. So that's something. So hope itself is something that your mind can learn to have. Right?
Yeah. More so that if you feel that there is hope, your whole outlook will change.
Right. And your soul will stand a better chance, I think. But hold on, let me take a step back, because hope itself is the effect of a cue, like response action loop, right? If you learn that, and this is the same thing with the rats, but if you learn that if you hold on to this thing or you do this action, then something good will happen, then you're more likely to do that action again. This is like the whole Pavlov's dog thing. Like if I hear the bell, if Pavlov's dog, right?
I'm well aware of Pavlov's dog and classical and conditional training.
Yeah, exactly. Like, ring the bell, got it with the food. All right, then if I hear the bell, then the food is coming type thing, right? You start to salivate when you hear the bell, right? So like you learn to hope for things, through your experiences and, what you get from doing the action. that works for everything. That's how your mind learns to do certain actions. Even every single food, I think, that we crave is the result of this sugar and salt, reward circuit. Like sugar is good, right? So if I eat this apple, it happens to have sugar in it, or eat this banana, it happens to have sugar in it, or eat this rice, which happens to have sugar in it. Like there's this really strong, deep loop. If I drink this milk, it happens to have, lactose in it. Then,
which is a sugar.
Yes, this is the first thing you learn, like, as a baby. Like, drink this, something good's gonna happen. It has a sugar in it. It's gonna give me energy. It's something that I should crave. So you just keep doing that again and again. And it's like, all right, so I hope for food because under all of that, I know there's some sugar in there. I know some sugar in there. I know it's some sugar in there.
Calm down.
Right? Like you start to crave that thing. So yes, there is hope. I think hope in a higher power comes from that loop too. Like you learn through the stories, or you learn through anecdotal experience that if I pray, something good's gonna happen. Like if you learn that even if I pray, nothing good happens, then it's very hard to have hope,
But you see, that's something that I definitely struggle with, and I had a friend of mine, and I know he stopped listening to the podcast because he works nights, and it's hard for him to be in there. But yeah, so we had this conversation on prayer, and the thing about it is that we feel that if we ask God, then He needs to deliver.
That's that.
So if we ask God, then He needs to deliver. But what if prayer is not so that we can get what we want?
Get what we want.
Like if all we're doing is treating God like a celestial Santa Claus, then there's an issue there.
Yes.
Like, what if prayer is meant to get us into a state of being in which we're okay with not getting what we want? We're okay if the answer is no. And if the answer is yes, then so be it. But what if prayer is just meant to give us that peace?
Well, that's when, if I could respond to that, that's when your prayer game has stepped up. All right. 95% of people, I'd say, this is a stat that has not been researched, but I'd say 95%, look, 95% of folks are on that base level of prayer. Pray for this, get that. All right. You have your petitions, petitioning something. Well, we talked about this before. Like, what is prayer? What are the different types of it? Praise, right? Petition, there's another P. Yeah.
I don't know.
Look, it was 4 P's. All right. And I ain't even gonna go through all of them. But petition, but you got prayer, you have this, petition, and people are used to asking for things, and just hoping that the one who's behind all the whole cosmic everything, behind the scenes will, nudge things in your direction, but we should actually be praying once you get to the meat, right? Meaty prayer, once you leveled up enough to face the real hard things. It's actually praying His will to be done, right? This is like in prayer number 101, like pray like He did. All right. Right. It's right there. But
the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah, Lord's Prayer. Like, pray that His will be done. And give praise for Him loving you, right? Thank you for loving me in spite of me being a hot mess. All right.
Well,
I'm saying, like, that's how we should be praying. We should be praying that his glory be done. When we watch Lazarus, go into the ground, that's Jesus's boy. All right. Like his sister would wash Jesus's feet with her hair. All right. That's how she was down with him. Right. And you just watch my brother die. No, she didn't get upset with him. She was like, my Lord, he stinks. He's been dead a few days. Like, nah, I got this. Right. And I had to do this. Even we have a God that will weep. All right. For his people because he loves us like that. All right. He was crying. Jesus up there crying because he had to make sure that this was done for the glory of God. Yeah. All of it, even watching his boy die when he know, that he can go in there and do this thing. So praying that our actions in the words of my mouth and the of my lips will be in your sight, my rock and my redeemer. Go ahead.
Why do you
Yo, you know what I'm quoting.
Of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer.
Let's go.
Yeah, right? You sounded like a rap song that was censored. You said, may the and the
Yo, you know what I meant. I
know exactly what you meant, but I was waiting for it so I could be like, yes. But wait for the words.
Look. So today we're in John chapter 12, verse 1 through 11, and we looked at three people that was posted up around Jesus, right? After the Sanhedrin and all these guys saying, we got to kill this guy because he just brought Lazarus back, man. Like, we got to kill him. High priest saying, the high priest saying, you know what? It's better for one to die for the people than for all of them to be turned, right? He's supposed to be the high priest, and this dude is up there prophesying about our high priest, right? That one would die for the sins of the world. Right after that, right, we get into chapter 12, and Jesus is posted up, chilling with his people. Mary, Lazarus, Martha. And we looked at these three people in the church, and we said, all right, what's going on? You got Martha up there handling food. She's serving because she's doing her best to serve. This is a week out before the end, right? The endo, right? Where Jesus had to do the hard task. And when he prayed, but hold on. We got Martha. She's serving because that's the best that she can do. We had Lazarus. It says in the NIV that he was reclining, chilling. All right. He was up there. He was there as a testimony. He was a living testimony. It wasn't like Jesus just brought this guy back and he's just on a zombie game walking around. No, he was reclining with the Lord. All right. At the table, shokutaku, right? Shokutaku de, relax shiteita, right? He was chilling. And then you had Mary. She up here with this fine fragrance called nard with her Lord. All right.
Oh God, you stretch that.
She put look, because you had Judas Iscariot here. I'm not even gonna mention that, but we got three people in the light, right? Chilling around the light. Martha serving, Lazarus chilling and testifying, and you had Mary up here washing the Lord's feet with the finest fragrance that she could find for 300 denarii, right? And she up there washing his feet with her hair. All right. I don't know no black women that want their hair to get all kinds of, messed up. She's putting her hair on his feet and right, massaging it into his feet, right? And then you had this one dude over here in the dark, right? Mr. Darkness over here, Judas Iscariot. He comes up, oh, why wasn't this sold? So that this money could be in my pocket.
For the poor.
used for
No,
the
in my
poor.
pocket.
That's what I'm saying, because he was up there. He was up there around Jesus this whole time, right? And this dude was taking care of the money, and he was graphing a little bit off the top for himself. Like, that's what it says right there in the word. Chapter, verse 10. All right. This dude was grafting. All right. But we had three people over here in the light. You had Mr. Dark over there, but they were all doing what they were supposed to do. They were doing the thing that drives them, going back to the point, doing the thing that drives them to serve the Lord. All right. One was up there serving the best way she can. She was up there, handling the food. Boom, boom, boom. I make sure everybody's covered. Lazarus up there testifying. And Mary is down there, she gave her life savings, basically with this fragrance, right? She gave her life savings just so she can put it on his feet. Like, the Lord isn't going to be with you forever. All right. That's the way Jesus said, I ain't going to be with you forever. The poor will. All right. Now, I know how you think, Judas. I ain't even going to address that right now. Right, you've been rolling with this whole time, but you have a task for yourself too, Mr. Dark. All right, I'm gonna leave that as it is. All right, Jesus knows. All right, you ask where the hope is at. You better come to the light. All right, it's right there. And do what you're supposed to do.
We can jump into Mary's whole thing, because this is Mary Magdalene. This is the woman who was caught in adultery.
That was my question. Is that the same Mary?
Yes, that's the same Mary.
That's the same Mary.
Yes. And nobody else was brought up with her. That's a real crazy thing. Nobody else was. How was she caught in adultery and there's no other party to come forward?
Oh, because it was the people that was up there ready to stone her. They gotta, they all done. They're done, and they just all look what she was doing.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't do adultery by yourself.
Yes. How it works. So which one of y'all didn't have a hand in this? Go ahead and throw the first stone. Everybody had to walk. That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. All right. She was a moth to the light. I didn't realize they were the same Mary, though.
Yeah, same Mary. That wasn't Mother of Jesus. That was Mary Magdalene.
Mary Magdalene.
Martha is Mary's sister.
Right.
Other Mary.
The older sister.
Mary, Mother of Jesus. So you got two Marys in the same room.
Oh, Martha is Mary Magdalene's older sister, right?
No, not Mary Magdalene's.
Because Mary Magdalene is Lazarus' sister.
Mary Magdalene is Lazarus' sister?
I mean, the Mary that's in John chapter 12, all right, 11, 12, all of that. She was like, Lord, Lazarus is about to die. Like, can we go see him right now? Not right now. And then, she went back to the house and just like, all right, well, he said no. So, I see that as that Mary. But then there's Martha, the older one. That's her older sister. And then after the fact, after he comes back, 3 days later, and I'll say he comes back, not Lazarus, but Jesus. When Jesus comes back, he says, that's Mary that goes to the tomb, right? Same one. She was following his story.
Yeah, I do stand corrected.
Oh yeah. Well, I know you got a lot of Marys going on in your mind, and all right. Yeah. I'm pretty sure, but yeah. Big ups to some of our listeners as well. I see Meditation of My Heart. Thank you.
Yeah. Checking in. Appreciate she was like giving the praise hands right there.
Right.
See, we a little late to the party, but we appreciate you all the same. We're gonna do it like Jesus said. No matter what time you come in, you're still gonna get the same reward. Whether you came in minutes before the stream, like Water Pulse Laser always does, or if you just checking in right now, or if you're checking in after the fact and you're just listening to it on Spotify or YouTube, we still appreciate you. Need to make that known.
I appreciate
that. But we're gonna wrap it up here because we're almost at an hour. It was a deep talk. It was a deep talk. So I didn't want to cut it too short, but I don't want to jump into any other thing right now. I want to make sure that you know exactly what book we're reading. That is Homo Deus by Yuval Noah Harari, and we will be jumping into the hour mark to the hour and a half mark in chapter 2. If you're listening to the audio on
chapter
script.
Chapter 3.
Chapter 3. Sorry, that is definitely my bad. So chapter 3. The hour mark to the hour and a half.
Make sure they know. Yeah.
Make sure they know. Yeah. So we got some adoration right here from Water Pulse Laser. Deep discussions break the time limits. Yes.
Yeah.
We want to keep chopping it up, but we don't want to chop it up.
Yeah. We don't want to chop it into your dinner time over there in the States.
Dinner time.
Or your lunchtime over here in Japan.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's already 8:26. It's prime time.
Yeah. Oh, it's 8:26 over there now.
Yes.
That's what y'all doing? Okay. I see.
So you know what I say. And still, until next time, stay prayed up and be blessed. Hit them off.
Y'all know how to be blessed. The best way to be blessed is go ahead and get yourself a pen and a pad and write it down. It's been your boy TPC Japan telling you that's what it is. Peace out.